This is Jonathan with Business Owner Browser for our Tech Tuesday calls. And today we are thrilled to be welcomed by Jonathan from the Penji team. Welcome to our Tech Tuesday call.
It's an honor to be here. Excited to talk tech. I would like to say I'm pretty techy, but I hope that we can not only talk tech, but get value to all the people that are watching, listening, et cetera, et cetera.
Love that. And honestly, one of the reasons we're so thrilled to have you is because we use Penji.
Yeah.
We've had
and
like the best experience with it.
Well, I'm really happy to hear that. It's really cool it's weird because when you have a service that is used by hundreds and thousands of people on a daily basis, and then you see the names come through like via email or through your payment processor or whatever it may be, and then to actually talk to the people who use it, it's a dream. It's a really cool experience. So thank you guys for trusting us.
That's awesome. Usually when you get to 1,000 users, you're kind of at the point where like, hey, I don't need to talk to the individual people anymore.
I think something that's really important, and this is kind of like my spiel of what I talk about when it comes to customer acquisition and growth, is that conversation. Because if you're not able to understand, like right before you came on, I was talking to Dennis, and he was like, hey, I really want a feature that does this. And then, believe it or not, we're actually working on it. So,
nice.
I think if you can't have a conversation with your customer, then I think you shouldn't be a business owner. Just simple as that, sales, right? You can get sales, you can get leads, you can get referrals. I mean, we're a business that goes on primarily online. But if you're a small business that relies heavily on chambers of commerce or just natural meetups or whatever it may be, these types of conversations go a long way. And to kind of steal a little bit of a thunder of kind of like the foundation of how Penji actually started, and why we grew to the way that we did, was built off of the foundation of exactly what you're doing with this Tech Tuesday. I created a podcast that ended up having around 320 episodes or something like that.
Wow.
And I interviewed SaaS founders, and they ended up being one of the first foundational customers of Penji, because they had a need, and then we had the service. So an hour-long conversation that ended up being like a lead generation. To the people that are listening or watching, I think you have to kind of go by your own style, so to speak. It may not be a podcast. Maybe you have zero personality whatsoever, and you can't talk to people. But maybe you can do something else.
Right.
Yeah. So podcasting, taking this into a podcast, you already have the audio, right? Might as well just rip it and find a way to get more exposure for the business. So
I need a better microphone maybe, because I always see the people that videotapes their podcast. They have a nice setup.
Oh yeah.
The professional camera.
If I was at my home office, I got the setup, man.
All right, nice.
You need a good, a camera's whatever, it doesn't matter, but you need a good mic.
Yeah.
A microphone is just, it makes my annoying voice sound 1% sexy, and that's good enough for me. So
I feel the same way you do. I got a pretty annoying voice. I hear myself on these videos, and I'm like,
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You're like, God damn it.
I feel bad for the people that have to listen.
Right, I'm sure.
So real quick, so did Penji come out of all of those podcasts, or did you have the idea of Penji while you were doing the podcast? Because a lot of tech startups come from a need. People identify a gap in the market, and then they come up with a product. But how did that play in there?
Yeah, we were a digital marketing agency primarily before this, and so we worked with we did SEO, we did website design, we did web development. If somebody needed an app, we did that. If somebody needed a university website, we did that. We were just a jack of all trades, master of none. And then when customers churn, right, when customers leave your business, which is natural, they usually said something along the lines of, we didn't get the results that we were looking for. However, your graphic design was really good. And so we were just like, oh crap, okay, well, you're like the 10th person that said that. We need to be able to like, there's something here. And then we started just Googling graphic design services and things like that. Found an interesting way to kind of like enter the market. And then that was kind of the foundation. So we ended up interviewing, and then again, going back to the original statement, which was the conversation that we had originally with customers, how you never want to lose sight of that. We ended up interviewing around 125 to 150 people. We asked them, hey, what are the pain points of your business and marketing? What is the biggest thing that you're struggling with? And it was hiring talent, right? So it was hiring a graphic designer, it was hiring a marketer. And then also the ability to afford it, right? Because affording a cost is really high. So then we said, well, what if we were to do this? I mean, that was the last question. If we were to do this, would you buy it? And then the answer was yes and yes. And then we said, okay, cool. Well, we're going to make it, and then we want you to buy it. So the first customers, believe it or not, probably shouldn't say this because you guys are actually a customer. So I'll say it now, but just know that this doesn't exist anymore. So you can't get it.
We are live though.
No, it's okay.
So it's only
it's okay. So we charge $79 a month for what we're doing essentially now, like a modified version of the service, because we were like, we didn't have money, right? So we're like, how can we get money, because we need cash flow, and what are we willing to spend if what are we willing to charge people to get that cash flow, that revenue? And $79 was that amount. I don't know why it was $79, but it was. And then we inject that cash flow, and then we use that as a driver to get it. So our ability to get our first 100 customers only took a couple of months, because we were able to just get at a price that we wanted. And then we were able to get the customers that we wanted because the podcast, and then also because of the interviews that we did, or the surveys.
And then you start getting in word of mouth, and then you start getting into customers, and I'm sure telling other customers.
Correct. Yeah. So that's when, I'd say maybe part 2 comes into this, is now that you have a little bit of cash flow into the actual realm of business, now you need to be able to actually do a good job, in which we incentivize people to, hey, if you really like this service, we'll give you X dollars off, which we still have to this day. Then people started referring themselves. Then we started obtaining profit, and then the profit, we ended up taking the profit and put it into advertising. And we just kind of built that machine, in addition to just really good content and content creation, right? Like, people consume content every single second of every single day. There isn't a second that goes by where there's somebody in our office that's like scrolling through their phone. And it sounds really stupid, and I do have to take that call because it's coming right now. So I'm just gonna put on a brief hold and then just play some music.
Go for it. Well, listeners, if you're still out there, this is a Tech Tuesday first for us. But we are a very accommodating group, so we want to make sure that we don't block any real business.
Jonathan, I'll jump in. Oh, okay, he's back. Never mind.
We're good.
That was efficient.
Yeah, I told you, man. I'm like super efficient. So like when we're doing doing content, and and you're producing content, like, people want to consume that. They want to like obtain it. They want to eat that up as much as possible. So just, create content. It doesn't have to be good content. If you create content like this, you repurpose it, people are watching live, they're seeing me answer a phone, you're going to collect their email, you're going to build them into the ecosystem. If you're doing cool stuff, that ecosystem's built naturally, and then you end up getting sales from it. That's literally that is the recipe to how Penji, in a modification of other things, of course. But that is the recipe that Penji started. So it's like textbook. What you guys are doing is exactly what we did.
I mean, it's great, and it's a great roadmap. And I mean, obviously, the proof is in the pudding. So it's definitely something to follow.
Yeah, 100%.
So I got to ask you, one of the things that really has always interested me and impressed me, a lot of times when you're working with startups or founders or businesses, they all start with the logo, and they start with the name.
The logo, okay.
It's, hey, we need branding, we need an image, we need something that that, screams who we are. And you, Penji, is on the forefront of that. I mean, you're helping kind of form these early graphics, these early designs, these early branding materials. I mean, really, you're at the start of most people's business. What does that mean to you, and kind of how do you see yourselves shaping businesses, or have you ever really thought about that?
That's a deep question, and I haven't really thought about it. I probably should.
No, I mean,
well, so here's the thing. I'll give you a mistake that people make, and my suggestion. I don't even think you should hire Penji to start the business. If you are starting the business right now and you have the idea, I probably wouldn't even, and this is my honest answer, I wouldn't hire Penji. I wouldn't become a customer of Penji, because there's so much crap that you have to figure out that you haven't been able to figure out before. I'd probably wait like 2-3 months, 6 months, and then come in and do Penji, because now you have a little bit more of like a wiggle room of like what works and what doesn't work. You'll be able to understand like, oh crap, this actually makes more sense than that. Your messaging might be a little bit more clear. Penji actually didn't have a logo in the very beginning, so it kind of is counterintuitive, where like we are the foundation, we are the start, but we didn't follow our own practices ourselves. So I think logos, it's kind of like you need a suit to walk into a meeting and feel good and feel confident, but you also need to be able to like talk and sell. So it doesn't matter how good looking you might be or how sexy you feel, if you can't talk, then the suit is worthless. So I think to that extent, understanding more about the business and failing is probably more worthwhile. And in addition to that, when the problem that I see businesses have is people are so reliant and dependent on the perfect brand. So they'll say something like, oh, if only I had a presentation deck that's 50 slides to present. If I only had this, if I only had that. And then you have this, right? You get this, and then you don't know what to do with it. And I think that's the differentiation between a really good entrepreneur and that of somebody who is just kind of working off the seat of their pants. You have that foundation, you know what to do with it, you have that confidence, you know what to say to a customer, and you fine tune it over time. There's just so many excuses that entrepreneurs are making, marketers are making. And I think that's what allowed us to succeed. We didn't give a crap about what other people were saying. We were singularly focused on helping people and servicing our customers. We didn't care about what we looked like, because we knew that if our customers knew that how hard that we worked, they would reciprocate and respect us more, because they would see how hard that we're actually working.
Gotcha. Kind of like leading by example and just, showing your brand out there and then getting behind it. I mean, that's valuable information, because you're right. A lot of people are stymied, or they don't have a path forward because they think they need something, or they think, I don't have a good enough logo and I need to iterate on my logo to make sure it hits the right way. And so that's some pretty good feedback for the team.
Yeah. I mean, like the logo that we currently have, we're not even satisfied with it. And we're a logo company, like, we're a graphic design company.
Right. I mean, that's a chef who doesn't like their own cooking.
That is true too. That is true.
That's, that almost just shows me that you're always striving for better and better, which is a good thing.
No, that is. And I think that's a constant theme. I think internally, when we have conversations, we always say, be better. And be better can be the aspect of multiple things. It could be better in the aspect of like your personal life, where you're putting out really good positive energy. But it's also the aspect of ending the day 1% better than what you started it. It's kind of like, I kind of look at it as like a stock market as well. You have stock markets where it goes all the way up and spikes. And then there's other times where it dips a little bit. Right. But as long as like, you're here, right? Even if it goes up and then it'll eventually go down, if you can at least end the day at a zero, or at least a little bit above, I think you'll succeed. Another thing too that I think entrepreneurs should probably think about and consider is just really time management, and organizing your day before you actually start it. So my day actually begins the night before, where I kind of like lay out what are the most important things that I need to do in my day in order to succeed. And so, yeah, I mean, that's allowed me in particular to just think a little bit more clear, because again, something else that entrepreneurs do is they go on like a notepad, or they go on a board and they go, I need to do this, I need to do that. And then it ends up not actually amounting to anything for the business. So they ended up
Why
saying
you're
like,
doing things.
correct. Yeah. Like
Ask
people
yourself.
like doing busy work, right? They like to feel busy. But at the end of the day, if you're not producing revenue for your business, then you're dying.
Yeah. What'd you
So
do?
yeah, exactly. Like, this is producing revenue in addition to you actually learning and benefiting from it. So yeah, I mean, stop doing busy work. It's simple as that.
It's hard. It's hard for people. And sometimes, at least in my experience, it's hard for people to know what's busy work and what's actual meaningful work that could
True.
lead to revenue. So some people, you're getting stuck up on things, or but I love that. I mean, I'm kind of very similar. I try to end my day. I have a young kid and things like that. So I want to make sure that I'm not cutting into her time, but set up the tasks for the next day and then get right into them the next morning.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have any kids. So I can say that like
everyone's got.
Yeah, I will say I think that is a way that Penji did succeed is like, I'm 32 and I don't have any children, and I think when you add more stresses into your life, it does affect your clarity. So I applaud you and your family for growing, of course, but I applaud you for actually being able to like stay focused and be able to do your job in addition to growing your family.
And she's screaming Elmo nonstop, sometimes it gets a little hard. But
I can only imagine. I can only imagine.
So Jonathan, I know your time's valuable. We're coming up on the end here. Love to ask this to everyone. What is your favorite piece of technology, not including Penji?
I'll tell you what I don't like.
Yeah.
And I can probably go into what I do like by finding the answer. I hate using my phone.
Okay.
I really want to grow into a world where either somebody manages my phone for me.
Yeah.
And that's like a pipe dream to have. So it's like,
yeah,
I just want to be able to give somebody the phone and go, here you go, man.
Here you go.
Like, I don't want to do this. I'd rather just work off of like a watch where if you want to contact me, you just contact me directly.
Right.
But I don't like social media at all. Contrary to marketing, which is like social media 101. I don't use it for my own self. I use it for marketing purposes and things like that. So if I'm ever on social media, it's never self-serving. I don't scroll through.
Right. It's for a purpose.
The feed. Yeah, it's for a purpose. My favorite piece of technology.
Probably flip phones.
Yeah. It sounds. This is probably an off-color answer, but I'll say it. A scooter.
Okay. All right. Nice. I like that.
Yeah.
I got an electric scooter myself.
What city are you guys in?
I'm in Philadelphia.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Is northern Jersey.
Oh, because we're in Philadelphia.
20th and Girard.
20th and Girard. We're 16th and Marquette.
Nice. All right. Cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I scooter. So I live in South Philly, a block away from Pat's and Gino's. I get on my scooter. I ride it. It takes me 10 minutes to get to work. Yeah. And it's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. I have the Go Track.
Yeah, that's what I have.
That's right. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I'm right there with you. That scooter is.
We'll have a scooter date one day.
Yeah. That'd be cool. Well, hey, this was really fun talking to you. We love your company. We wish you all the best. Anyone we talk to, we recommend Penji.
Thank you.
You all are just doing a great job, and thank you for your time today.
Yeah, thank you so much for believing in the service, and I hope that the people that are listening and watching, that they got value. If you learned one thing today, feel free and send me an email. It's jonathan@penji.co. If there's anything that I could do to help you, I can't necessarily guarantee a timely email response.
Right.
But at the end of the day, my job, my purpose on this planet is to help others, and I've made a commitment for my entire life to be helping people. So If there's anything I could do for any of you guys that are listening or watching right now, I plan on doing so. So feel free to email me at any time. And again, thank you guys for having me on.